Ну что ж, господа, всем здравствуйте, с вами Скэтман, сегодня с вами что? Metal Gear штуки-жбуки. Что-то там, Metal Gear, что-то там. Пэт Бучер, Пэт Стикман, Алинсар, Стоп Геймин, Джордж Шпинберген, джентльмены, здравствуйте. Да, поехали. Я не в курсе чего, я не в курсе всего вообще, типа, что там, Metal Gear, что там, просто знаю, что есть такая франшиза. О, нужны угрозы. Кодзима Productions, так, погоди. Геймхак. Разрешить на устройстве. The Memes of Nature. Так, у вас картинки пока нет, я знаю. Сейчас мы фулкам как-нибудь сделаем. zoneofgames.ru. А можно я... Да. Ща. Файл. Хорошо, а можно я картиночку поменяю? Вот. Настройки графики. Картинка? Картинка! Ей! Козимба, гений, который изобрел стелс-экшен. Название есть металлические шестеренки. Восстание, рассвет какой-то Revengeance. Revengeance. Чё, графоний на топ, правильно? Мы ж тут не это, а то. А вот размытия не надо. Зангеки. Давай, Кэт, курс у тебя в штанах, Скэт. Курс? Говорю по курс. Давай-ка. Хотя бы в тему шути, давай-ка. Ну что за стыд вообще? Зангеки. Как жгулеки, только зангеки. Зантайм. Время чтения. от цельных частей. Ну, тут оставим средний, ладно. Замгеки. Язык английский, а чё это английский-то? Ладно, видимо, будет русский. Название своего стрима. А, ты в курсе, я понял. Лучше 5 МГС поиграл, там куча девах в влюгающих костюмах. А вы мне закажете 5 МГС? Нет, наверное. Поэтому мы не будем играть 5 МГС. Кто платит, то заказывает музыку. Все просто. Компания видео мы начинаем. Новая игра. На какой сложности мы играем? Компанию. Мистер Слипман, tell me. Сложность любую. Нет, ну звучит как-то странно. Любую. Вообще любую, типа без разницы или что, что значит любую? Этого я не понимаю. Лучше у нас есть чуваки, у тебя личный костюм. Ну давай нормал тогда. Сложно, думаю. Я не спец по слэшу, но и то было не сложно на нем. Standing key, I realize. Елиска, привет. Ну, это нормально. Вообще стильно выглядит. Не знаю, кто это, что это, но... Пойти очень, конечно. Ох, поверка. Что-то там, что-то там. Блин, ну музыка сразу же такая. Погоди, a quick warm-up. Надо вебку унести сюда, я думать. Shall we? Продал кружки. Кружки продал сегодня. Заработал 700 рублей. Баньки человек.
Check the soliton radar on the upper right and head to the point marked on the display.
Черт, там радар. Ну ладно. Так, значит, бетку ставим вниз. С этим мощных чуваков в легающих костюмах. Классно же.
You can jump over obstacles, but the ninja run will get you across them more quickly and easily.
Бег ниндзя. Почему не shift? О. Райден 100%. Где-то я это видел. Ага, ну как-то сам это делает, да? Надо просто контур держать и все.
You can also attack while in motion with the ninja run, you know. Swinging your blade while dashing, for example, or striking your foes with a sliding attack.
Ты предлагаешь геймпад подключить пин или что? Слипман, что скажешь? У меня есть геймпад. Удобный, блин, Слипман максимально нейтральный, типа, да делай, что хочешь, вообще насрать. Просто берем, потому что нам играется, поле меняется, если что. Тут, я так понимаю, это слэшер, то есть стрелять здесь не надо. Но если это слэшер, то, конечно, удобнее геймпад. Я такая сразу же, ага, вон ты как придумал. О. Что это? Блин, как-то неудобно, честно говоря. Не в плане, я думаю, на клавиатуре это будет точно так же неудобно. Просто никакой фиксации на цели нету. Если хочешь, главное, играй.
Давай,
как вообще без понятия.
Try and neutralize all the enemies that appear. String light and strong hits together to perform combination attacks.
Прикольно. Упор подходишь и нарезаешь.
Combat is not all offense, however. You also need to protect yourself. First, follow the direction of the enemy's attack. Parry those attacks by executing light attacks of your own in the same direction. This is how you parry. It is the keystone of your defense.
Давай. Блин, я понял.
Draw foes in as close as possible and parry their blows to leave them exposed to counterattack. From your perspective, it will appear.
Одну деталь забыл сделать, сорян. Сейчас, сек. Так. Это еще ведь не та игра, которую я думаю, это Rising все-таки. А, все, это первое.
Here, as if the enemy is frozen in time, or at least moving very slowly. This is the perfect opportunity for you to carefully aim your strike, then slice your foe apart. Keep in mind, even you will not be able to parry every type of attack. Watch your foe's movements carefully. Die!
Охренеть! Жестко. Ладно, это круто сделано, причем довольно просто. То есть ты просто нажимаешь, ну, кнопку, и потом направление даешь, и они буквально как ты задаешь. Это гениально с точки зрения геймпада сделано. Никогда таких игр не видел, где вот так вот сделано на геймпаде. Хотя Сильвер напоминает в плане мышкой там двигаться. 3 years.
We've come so far in just 3 short years.
The sign of a strong leader, sir.
No. The will of a strong people.
Что все залагает.
And one very able advisor.
Thank you, sir.
Your team deserves credit as well, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
Just doing our job, Mr. Prime Minister.
Видимо, это мы.
I must admit, I once thought of groups like yours as opportunists, enablers of war. But you've trained our new army well. Order has returned sooner than expected. Perhaps I was wrong about these private military companies.
We prefer private security providers, sir. Most of Maverick's contracts do focus on security.
Yes, well, the security can mean many things.
Клоны.
There's a saying I like. One sword keeps another in the sheath. Sometimes the threat of violence alone is a deterrent. Sometimes by taking a life, others can be preserved. It's the code the samurai lived by.
A soldier and a philosopher. You are full of surprises, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
I could say the same about you, Mr. Prime Minister.
What is happening?
Someone's blocking the lead vehicle. Hold on.
Clear the road! This is official state business!
О нет, это Джейси Дентон. Пека-пека. Он меч достал. Почему не стреляем? Это резня, да?
Open fire! Who was that?
A cyborg.
One of our competitors?
Courtney, what is happening?
We got hit, sir. A cyborg.
Whose?
Exif comes up unaffiliated.
I'll notify all checkpoints. Get on money out of there.
Yes, sir.
Так смешно, что они с мечами. Ну ладно. Аниме же.
We are going to die.
Stay calm.
Если мы должны были умереть, то они убахнули с ракетицы по машине.
He's got friends on our 12.
Raiden,
I'm on it. Guard the Prime Minister.
Клево, у него ботинки. Блин, пикс-механика? Чё это? Ты чё вообще? Установить какую-нибудь, не знаю, загугли. Хрена. А можешь с ними так же сделать? Нет.
Let's get this over with.
Приветуем Random is Gate. Кодзима Рений.
take out those hostiles. Raiden, you'll need to choose between between light and heavy strikes to match the situation. Take self-repair units from your foes to replenish your own supply.
О, как удобно.
The limo is in trouble. Get back there ASAP. I'll add the limo to your solid down radar.
Неплохо, можно машинку порезать. Да, Найка, второй раз эта шутка стала смешнее. Это расчлененка. Бах! Взорвался. ГГ из Питера, походу.
Right, it's on the other side of that barricade.
А как мне защищаться от дальней дистанции? Мне не объяснили. Давай, давай. Да в смысле?
What are you doing, Ryder? Get to that limo.
Лима подождет. Lightning Bolt, Райден. Водку утилизация. Точно нашинковать арбуз на несколько всего, но лучше канадская в штанах. Да, Найка, да. Смешно.
If you can't cut through the barricade, try the fence, huh?
О, не услипан. А мухи что, возъели помощь? Окей. А, они тоже киборги-клоны. Да фак! Пошло аниме. Мы вообще в него играли уже, Босс Смит. В 2. Еды. Как там еще живой? ППЦ под. Ну, стильно, конечно.
So you're Jack.
What do you want with the Prime Minister?
I want him dead.
Чё ж ты не убьешь ты его тогда?
Nothing personal, of course. Africa's just getting a bit too peaceful.
What?
Business ain't been the same since they shut down SOP.
SOP.
A clean break from the war economy. Huh. Well, some of us like that economy. How's an honest warmonger supposed to make a living?
This is your answer? Don't do it!
Такие пафосные диалоги.
Don't worry now. I won't. Not while he's still useful. So long.
What? They have him.
Злодей сказывает лох. Я не буду называть название этих машин в игре, но он говорит Metal Gear.
Metal Gear? Gear? Right. They got that UMP and get them. Use your ninja run to deflect those shots. Catch that missile before it blows. Use blade mode to damage its armor.
Прикольно, что надо вот так делать.
They swapped out the hydraulic cutter for a plasma cannon. Use the
Oh!
ninja run to dodge that plasma.
Ее можно дожить, нифига.
Now, Raiden, bring it down. Stop that blade.
Что? Окей. Ладно.
Wave it wide open.
Абсурд.
Very good.
Хорошо.
But do not rest easy just yet, huh?
Без урона ранг битвы S. Найс.
He's on the other side of that collapsed building. Go.
Интересно, если тут какие-нибудь секретки. Desperate. Desperate. Единственное S на первом прохождении. Да, 8 может, а может и нет. Потрясающие дедуктические наблюдения, Босс Смит.
Your radar shows which way he fled. Hurry!
А быть может, Босс Смит, ты сейчас ешь хлебушек, а быть может, нет. Что еще интересного скажешь?
There, get him. Use your ninja van to move over obstacles automatically.
Automatically. Он стоит, ждет нас там.
Do not let him out of your sight. You must catch him.
Ага, я понял. Хорошее дело, Найка. Рядом где-то. Ой, да ладно. А, еще один. Окей. А, это тот же. Окей, ладно. Так, и что я должен сделать?
Use blade mode to take down those HEMS missiles.
Я понял. Как не работает, да? Чуваки, да, все с одного удара. Ну, что-то любим разрезать все по чуть-чуть. На кусочки, на кусочки.
Finish that bastard off.
Господи. Может, подстрахуемся? Что я должен был сделать?
What is going on? Raiden, answer me. Raiden!
О, Господи! Перебор! Пополам. Badass fully. Так вот там мог просто так и на соседнее здание выпрыгнуть, а потом пойти еще и так далее, так далее, так далее. Дис, привет.
He's headed for the front of the train. After him. Ryder, an unidentified field roader is headed your way. Keep an eye out for it.
Конвертоплан.
Prime Minister!
Вот эти два чувака уже.
Too little too late, hero. I won't be needing my little shield here any longer.
Stop!
Мучительно.
What about all the good things war has done for us? Why don't we ever hear speeches about that? Jobs, technology, a common purpose?
Raiden, forget me. Stop him.
You ain't listening.
Сам упаковал, сам его освободил. Зачем было приковывать?
Mind if I got in? All we're saying, give war a chance! No!
Каблуки.
It's all yours, Sam! Let's go.
Ну давай.
Now, don't be shy. Walk right into it.
Понятно, мы должны его проиграть, видимо. Ошибка.
Self-taught, and not half bad. Still. Your technique lacks something.
Mightier than the pen after all.
Да ё-моё.
Now I see. You deny your weapon its purpose.
It yearns to bathe in the blood of your enemies, but you hold it back. No.
My sword is a tool of justice.
Типа там бензин был в канистре. Неплохо. Теперь Dark Souls. Оу. У него ножны меча — это автомат.
Red, are you all right? You're almost clear of the tunnel. Just hang on.
This is all the Ripper has to offer?
Я пытался. Не люблю такие сцены, когда нам дают податься, но, в общем-то, не имеет значения, что мы делаем. Давай хоть какой-то выбор.
Lucky devil.
А по нам не упадет? Может пострелять по вертолету? Нет? Окей. Ну ладно, можно было из пулемета. Сартекс, здравствуй. Он же видео психа. Сейчас, я вам в чат убил его, забыл убить обратно. Сюжет. Так. Насчет чатика рассказал это. Какая же это японщина, прям из всех щелей. Ну это прям стильная японщина такая. Да, психо, привет. Часть, которая не отображается, что ли? Kept you waiting. Это уже не Metal Gear Solid, это уже Sekiro какой-то. Название игры еще раз проверь, Данайка. Вообще-то его ножи это Барретт. Думаю, господи, не насрать ли? Я к тому, что вообще его ножны его меча это, блин, оружие. Ну нет, Скет, вообще-то все прикол в том, что это конкретное оружие. Да нет, ну, достаточно того, что это вообще пушка, в принципе, бывшая пушка. Так. 3 недели спустя. Блин, мне нравится только кино. Всем привет. Я больше не тебя. Нет, не дам, Данайка, еще чуть-чуть подзадушите меня, дам бан. Мне надоело какое-то двустороннее душение, необоснованное, и не в тему, и не в попад. Скучное и уныло, и слишком душительно.
So far, so good. I've got a clean visual.
A direct feed to your optic now. Yes, I should hope so, huh?
I mean, how does it feel to fly like a bird?
Like a bird strapped to a remote control rocket.
We will get you in safely, Tovarich.
Товарищ.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
Right.
Can you hear me, Raiden?
Doctor.
Там внизу справа
Remember
доктор.
two procedures to maintain your new body. One, seizing nano repair units from your foes. And two,
Absorbing their electrolytes. I got it.
yes, enemy cyborgs should provide plenty of MCFC electrolytes once you slice them open and extract their fluids.
They're terrorists. I was planning on that anyway.
Oh, and their left hands, if you please.
Левые руки.
Excuse me?
The combat data stored on holographic memory, typically located in the left hand. That data is very valuable. I am authorized to offer you upgrades and services in exchange for it.
How generous.
Ich liebe Kapitalismus. Had the war come down a few years earlier, I would have a Nobel Prize on my shelf.
There, I see land.
3 mics out and closing. No activity at the airbase. Looks like we don't need to worry about interceptors.
Great. Then we have time for a quick briefing.
I know you miss me, Kev, but I've been all over the materials.
That's what you said before Montenegro. Look, just humor me, buddy. Objectives, of course, are enter Abkhazia, neutralize the terrorists, and restore the
Abkhazia.
rightful government, or what's left of it anyway. The president and most of the cabinet have been killed, and a military junta's been established. The terrorists brain-jacked all the high-ranking officers, and their cyborgs scattered the rank and file. The few leaders who have survived have no way of openly opposing the new regime. That's why they called us.
Andrei Dolzaev, leader of the occupation forces, an extremist linked to both the St. Petersburg massacre of 2015 and last year's terror spree in Georgia. And his arms supplier, none other than Desperado Enforcement, LLC.
Те же чуваки, у которых был тот Metal Gear.
And Bonnie's killers.
If we don't stop them here, they could destabilize the entire region. But our more immediate problem is Jetstream Sam. I believe you've met.
The only problem I see is that nickname. I've got my enhancements this time. He won't be an issue.
He may not even be in country, but keep an eye out just in...
Oh, sorry.
Ready for insertion.
Keep an eye out, типа что у него глаза-то уже нет. Ну, точнее фраза keep an eye. Сохрани глаз, может перевести так, а у него уже нету глаза. Ну и одновременно следи за... Да. А может у него обоих глаз нет. Смотри, оба глаза. Нет, по-русски хомки, по-английски keep an eye это... Смысл, буквальный смысл сохрани глаз. Фактический смысл, который вкладывают в эту фразу, это да, следи за чем-то. Красиво.
Raiden, you landed safely, да? First, head inland.
Да.
The waypoint is marked on your Soliton radar. Contact us on codec if you have questions.
Контакты.
Control, it's Raiden. I'm on the ground.
Copy, Raiden. Glad to hear it. Entering on foot was the right move. That craft isn't equipped with stealth camo. Or octo camo, obviously, since that would be useless in midair.
And we wouldn't want to get your pricey new jet damaged, now would we?
Duh. The MQ-133C was not cheap, Tovarich. Now, keep alert. According to intel, you could find significant cyborg deployment here. If you were to be cornered by an entire squad, it might get difficult, even for you.
Understood. Some fighting will be necessary, though. I've got electrolytes to replenish.
This is not an infiltration mission. There is no need to hide or avoid combat outright, huh? Just do not get reckless. Stay safe and stay focused on your mission.
Реально стелс-слэшер будет? Не навешали у нее киберимплантов и аугментацию, но оставили повязочку на глазу? Good news. Может, это нано-повязочка?
Looks like a war zone out here.
The palace cleared out quick when Dolzayev's men showed up. The streets got pretty hot after that. We're definitely gonna see a few civilian casualties here. Luckily, it looks like most of them got out of the city before things got bad. They've basically got control of the entire town, and are using the refinery as their HQ.
And that's why we're hitting the plant.
Keep in mind, those cyborgs are contractors. For most of these guys, this is just a job. In theory, once you eliminate their commanding officer, they should scatter pretty quickly.
Игра начально разрабатывалась как стелс-экшен, в какой-то момент допнули, но рудименты остались.
There is always a chance the MQ was spotted before your drop-off. I would not be surprised if hostile cyborgs were already en route to your position.
A little welcoming party wouldn't be so bad. I could use a warm-up.
Enough with the attitude, Raiden. It's time to be serious. This is no game. I need you to focus. Many people are counting on you, and I don't just mean here at Maverick.
You don't need to remind me of that.
Good. The last thing we need is another clever cowboy shipped back to us in pieces. On codec is fine. Just be sure you are serious on the battlefield. Your enemies will be.
Yes, sir.
Игра изначально работала как стелс-экшен, в какой-то момент допнули, но рудименты остались. А походу, оставшиеся 2 часа мы будем слушать кодекси. Но если вот сейчас нам дают 2 часа кодеков, ну, типа, то такой контент, почему нет? Токио вначале выжила, не знаю, и она, оказывается, из нашей команды. Не знаю. А не поможет, что премьер-министра? Не знаю. Донайка. Какая... Who cares about деваха Донайка? Она даже в битве не участвовала. Let's party! Сейчас чеку налью. Так, продолжаем. Пам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам-пам. Что же того скека и такого пукпека?
Ryder, we are clear on the rules of engagement, yes?
Clear enough. I can use deadly force against any hostile elements. Hostile cyborgs, I can strike first.
Basically, yes. The actual rules of engagement is more specific. A long list of no's. But you have the idea.
You want to recap the highlights for me?
No weapons prohibited by international treaty. No use of force against non-combatants, especially officials or anyone with political power who may be needed for negotiations. No use of force against any unarmed hostile seeking to surrender. And no use of force against any non-cyborg combatants without prior verbal warning.
And that includes Dolzaev?
Duh, but this should not be a problem. Any
Duh,
non-cyborg
but-
is little threat to you, Dolzaev included. Besides, we have no signs of any non-cyborg hostiles anywhere in the area. Not even one.
Все
We
киборги.
think Dolzaev is working alone with Desperado here. In any case, that is the ROE. Otherwise, deadly force is authorized only in clear case of self-defense.
So basically, civilians off limits, human hostiles verbal warning, hostile cyborgs anything goes.
Yes, this is a conventional warfare scenario, so the rules are based on the Hague Convention.
Yeah, sounds pretty standard. Still good to list out all the no-nos before things get too hairy. ROEs that only specify who you can engage require too much judgment. They make it harder to remain focused on battle.
Duh. This is why most militaries' ROEs list negatives, not positives. The few that take the other approach, I pity their soldiers the questions they face. Oh, and for our purposes, UGs are considered the same as hostile cyborgs.
Copy that.
Большие...
We have no rules about property damage, but keep it minimal, yes? It just makes us look bad. Anything standing in your way, trees, streetlights, this is fine. But there's no reason to damage civilian homes, or to go snooping around in them.
Goes without saying.
Мне нравится такой кодекс, типа, рассказывают правила ведения войны местной. БПУ. Большие пукпековские установки?
You're familiar with your new body now, yes? Then let's begin the warm-up. Slash at something. A palm tree, perhaps. You're familiar with your new body now, yes? Then let's begin the warm-up. Slash at something.
Kev, let's go over everything we have on Desperado.
Roger that. Let's see here. Desperado Enforcement LLC. Registered in the U.S., Delaware.
Makes sense. The US doesn't regulate PMCs too closely.
Looks like almost all of their actual business is handled outside the States, though. Says here their financials are handled by a separate company based in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Карибское
The
море.
preferred tax haven of megacorps everywhere.
Probably why they incorporated in Delaware in the first place. Loose tax laws. Funneling it all through the Caribbean must help with the money laundering, though. There's still a lot we don't know about them. But they've definitely been starting a lot of fires lately. They're a PMC in name only. What a name it is.
Война с
War
доставкой
Profiteers
на дом.
Incorporated was taken. But that's their business. In a nutshell, target war-torn nations on the road to peace. Reignite conflicts and walk off with all the cash that was earmarked for reconstruction. And they also have ties to the drug trade, human trafficking.
Что-то
Sounds like a real class act.
непонятно, как это работает. Скорее беспилотное устройство, оригинальное UG Unmanned Gear.
We've confirmed 3 key captains in Desperado. Their code names are all wind-themed. The captain presiding over this coup is called Mistral.
Cyborg?
Yep. All 3 have got custom-made bodies. Collectively, they're known as the Winds of Destruction.
The what? They all have action figures too?
You're one to talk, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
Да уж.
Who told you?
Courtney. Now that sounds like an action figure.
I didn't choose it, trust me.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I doubt the Winds of Destruction picked their names either. Different cultures use language differently. Even ones with a decent command of English. As you can attest, Mr. LB.
Looks like a war zone out here.
The palace cleared out quick when Dolzaev's men showed up. The streets got pretty hot after that.
We're definitely gonna see a few civilian casualties here. Luckily, it looks like most of them got out of the city before things got bad. They've basically got control of the entire town, and are using the refinery as their HQ.
And that's why we're hitting the plant.
Keep in mind, those cyborgs are contractors. For most of these guys,
Мы это уже слышали.
just a job. In theory, once you eliminate
Looks like a war zone.
the palace, luckily they've been
And that-
keeping in.
How we doing, Courtney?
You're looking good on our end. GPS and audio-visual feed coming in fine. Energy consumption? Check. Damage levels? Check. Blood pressure, brain waves, blood sugar? Check, check, check. All this monitoring equipment, I got a better view than if I was standing right next to you. Anyway, I'll be saving all your data automatically anytime something important happens in the field. But contact me anytime you want a manual save.
Copy that. Good to hear that hasn't changed with this new body.
Yep, the basic system's exactly the same. So, did you want to save?
Буквально сейф через звонок ей. Прикольно.
And save complete. Simple, huh?
Copy. And glad to hear you're okay after Africa. That ambush was no joke.
Tell me about it. 3 armored vehicles should have been plenty for that job. And it would have been against any typical guerrilla force.
I keep asking myself, where would an anti-Imani faction get the cash to hire cyborgs?
It just doesn't add up. Maybe there's some intel I missed. A lead I should have followed up on. Maybe if I reacted faster, or coordinated better. I don't know.
You can't think that way, Courtney. Not in this business. You did everything you could. Put it behind you and move on.
You're right.
Не совсем понял ее задачу. Ну, типа, это руководитель всего, я так понимаю. Этот чувак... какой-то, не знаю, видимо, советник по региону, я так понял. Какой-то аналитик, может, региональный. Ее задачу не совсем понял. Она вроде как наши медицинские показатели смотрит, и при этом она занимается разведкой тоже.
Raiden, shall we review the capabilities of your new body?
Copy that. Go ahead, Doc.
As we discussed, you've been outfitted with 2 revolutionary new abilities.
Fuel electrolyte absorption and self-repair from C's nanopaste.
Нанопаста.
Precisely. First, electrolyte absorption. This is simplicity itself. As your HF blade is linked directly to your fuel cells, simply cut into any source of electrolytes. Say, a hostile cyborg made up of CNT muscle fiber. And your fuel cells will recharge on their own. Rather elegant, wouldn't you say?
I would indeed. It's been great so far.
But the repair process is a bit more involved. A bit more messy, you might say. Most military cyborg models store a cache of biotic self-repair nanopaste in their lower abdomen.
So I need to slice them open and use Zandatsu to extract it. Cut and take, in other words.
Correct. Once extracted, you need only to crush this unit in your hand to absorb the repairing agent inside. Keep in mind, it is extremely delicate. If the unit should hit the ground, some paste will surely leak out. It will still repair your body, but less so than if you can retrieve it directly before your foe falls over.
Basically, harvest their organs before their body can even hit the ground.
Rather gruesome, I realize. But then you Americans enjoy a bit of gore, don't you?
I may be a citizen, but I've never really thought of myself as American.
Oh? Well, yes, I suppose I could understand that given your history. But what then? Surely you don't identify as a Liberian.
I don't identify with anyone. No nation, no ethnic group. I'm my own man. Anyway, I seem to recall those gory torture porn movies were pretty popular in Germany, too.
Indeed, indeed. These splatter films are big in Germany, Russia, Japan, everywhere. Well, everywhere except regions afflicted by actual warfare. It all has to do with taming our fears, you know?
Huh?
The desire to feel fear, to taste death, but from a safe distance. These films allow the viewer to delude themselves into thinking they have overcome their fears. This...
Okay, Doc, I got the gist. Let's save the full psych lecture for some other time.
Блин, прикольные диалоги. Типа, как объяснить вот это вот, ты убил врага, да, и типа, похилился, вот, вот так.
Raiden, you need to save?
Nope.
No? What's up?
I wanted to follow up on our talk earlier about the stress that comes with the job. PMC work can be traumatic, even for non-combatants. If the pressure ever gets to be too much, have one of the ex-military there take over. Just...
I'm not doing that, Raiden. PMCs wield massive influence over international affairs. Abolishing SOP didn't change that. They need a better understanding of what they're mixed up in. The laws, politics, local cultures. Ex-military aren't here to provide that. They can't. We need civilian voices like mine here too.
You're right. Just
Не понял этого диалога тоже.
Don't worry. Africa was more than enough excitement for one lifetime. It's a good thing that limo was armored.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'd now be the world's clumsiest cyborg.
Hey! Cyborg Courtney could have been your partner. I might have saved your ass.
How? By spilling coffee all over the enemy?
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Oh, come on. I'm not that... Oh, son of a...
Please tell me that was a joke.
What's up? No? Did you need anything else?
No, guess not. Just wanted to hear the sound of your voice.
Ooh.
Oh, save it for your wife, Raiden. What's up? No? Did you need any...
No, just one.
Oh.
Okay.
So these self-repair units and the other cyborgs, they mean they can heal themselves at any time?
Indeed. It is typically a slow process, not much faster than a regular human body heals a wound.
And you didn't think it was a good idea to give me one of these things?
Certainly not. We removed all extraneous options in your case to maximize power and speed, you know.
Healing wounds is extraneous?
Your ability to absorb the nanopaste agent is far more efficient, Raiden. With it, your wounds heal almost instantly.
I know, but...
And a standard repair unit, once depleted, is nothing but an empty shell inside you. Dead weight.
I get that, Doc, but it also means I need to constantly be grabbing them out of enemies.
No, it doesn't. Don't be silly. Simply avoid taking damage.
Yeah, simple.
Просто избегай повреждений. Боже мой, эти гениальные диалоги, типа, как обстебать тему того, что нам нужно убивать врагов и хилиться. И при этом, как это оправдать, ну, с точки зрения, ну, чё, ну, типа, ну, так вот тебе максимальная сила, скорость, да. Это что, просто, типа, получай ранение. Просто не получаю урон, лол. Все, саботаж, здравствуйте. Да, всех света будет включить. Так если я не получаю урон, зачем мне тогда, получается, собирать с них восстанавливающие штуки? Ну вот, крайняя мера.
How is your eye, Raiden?
Great. My sight's perfectly balanced between both eyes. I think my vision's improved, actually.
Quite right. Quite right. Your eye patch houses an artificial compound eye unit.
О, в повязку
The unit
блок
contains
встроен.
200 million solid-state image sensors, each with its own individual lens.
Миллионов.
200 megapixels, huh? Doesn't sound like all that much.
More than sufficient for the application. A human's optic nerve has only about 1 million fibers, you know. Were we to add more sensors, your perceived vision would not improve. There's only so much modern image compression technology can do.
Huh. So I shouldn't expect any more dramatic improvements to my eyesight?
No, your brain would no longer be able to process any more visual information in real time. Still, compared to previous ACEs, yours has 1.4 times the resolution and a superior compression algorithm.
It may only result in a slight perceived change, but it could wind up making the difference during a mission.
Regrettably, I have not had enough time to develop a new eyeball unit just yet. Thus, I have cut out the ability to deploy the ACE unit separately and simply installed it on a fixed eye patch.
Works for me. If I was using an eye unit, I wouldn't see any better than a regular human.
Ah, but remember, the human eye is so much more than a simple light receptor. They play a vital role in person-to-person communication. Sooner or later, you'd miss it.
Stuff like that's important for some tasks, sure. For this op, not so much. And with less moving parts, the lower the chance of something going wrong. Besides, I like it.
Well, I'm very pleased to hear this.
I can worry about how I look after I complete the mission.
Вот, видишь, код ключик, да.
Stay vigilant, Raiden.
Кастомизацию. После выхода из кастомизации подошли режим истории с последней контроль точки. Чё? VR-миссию отправить. VR-миссия кастомизации. Что? Кого? Это тоже, видимо, что-то лишнее. Кисонька. Что тут кисонька делает на пляже? Мне кажется, кисоньки не очень любят песок. Вместе с определенными целями. Кисоньку ударить. Типа она доджит, да, идея в этом. Уникальная кинетическая система, усовершенствована для поддержки Райдена в его битвах против Сэма и Деспирада. Вместе с режимом клинка она позволяет повышать кинетические электролиты из врагов. К несчастью, не имеет никаких блоков самой Монта, поэтому Райден нужно вручную извлекать эмонтом материал из врагов для остановления полученного урона. У нас оно все стоит. Нормально штуки стоят. Воссозданное кибернетическое тело, использующееся Райденом во время инцидента оружия патриотов. Функционально устаревшее, выделяющее предельно ненатуральной челюстью. На поле боя потенциал крайне ограничен. Зачем? Чисто кастомизация визуальная? Грей Фокс. Ходовая часть копирована с тела Грей Фокса во время инцидента на Shadow Moses, но функционально разноценна последними моделями кибертел. Несмотря на то, что его называли экзоскелетом в те дни, когда еще не было современных кинетических технологий, оно не может быть надето или снято по собственной воле. Модифицированное кибертело белое. Тело, осознавливающее нанопастой и блоком теоэлектолитов. Большое количество опций для лечения и генерации киборга позволяет телу выступать в роли силовой поддержки. Белая броня напоминает униформу медицинского персонала. Какие-то чисто визуалки, другие имеют бонус. Но вот, видимо, у этого есть какой-то хил, я так понимаю. Тело с полным комплектом гранат, создано для выполнения функций поддержки на средних огневых дистанциях. Широкий выбор гранат делает его чрезвычайно смертоносным. Огненно-красный цвет как нельзя лучше характеризует эту летающую гранату машину смерти. Пекисы. Пришла, подрала, ушла. Вместе с РПГ многоцелевое назначение и встроенными портативными ракетами это зеленое кибернетическое тело восходит корнями к военной форме пехоты былых времен. Благодаря дополнительным боеприпасам это тело превосходно подходит для борьбы с БПЛА, танками, боевыми вертолетами и другими противопехотными оружейными системами. Высококачественный клинок. Его металлическая структура усилена переменным током, а изонирование лезвия ослабляется молекулярной связи всего, чего коснется. Его эффективность увеличивается. Увеличивается режим клинка, который потребляет энергию, но позволяет совершать короткие атаки. Улучшен доктором для того, чтобы извлекать из жертв топливные электролиты. Высококачественный клинок использовал бывший агент Фокс Хаунд Фрэнк Ягер, также известный в Гей Фокс, после того, как был превращен в киберниндзя доктором Кларком. Душа Гей Фокса все еще эхом разносится по мячу. Отсылочка к... Тут еще есть улучшение. Призрак в доспехах. Улучшение силы, обновленная версия программы управления кибертелом Райдера, улучшает производительность нейронного интерфейса, делает движения более точными, что позволяет наносить больше урона врагам. Поглощение, повышение количества топливных ячеек врагов, помощью оружия, уменьшает потребление энергии режим клинка. Повышение выносливости. Обновленная версия программы управления кибертелом Райдера мгновенно останавливает форму искусственной мускулатуры, независимо от того, куда был нанесен удар, сокращая количество получаемого урона. Nanomachines. Оптимизирует использование энергии. Надземное парирование. Обновленная версия программы управления кибертелом улучшает бойцовку в полете, позволяет парировать вражеские удары в воздухе. Свободно уклоняться от вражеских атак в любом направлении, эффективно противостоять их агрессии. Щит нападения must have. Давайте возьмем.
Raiden, you landed safely, да? First, head inland. The waypoint is marked on your Soliton radar. Contact us on Codec if you have questions.
Какое после диалоги-то?
You're familiar with your new... Then let's slash it. Then let's slash it.
Да. Все, сохранилось, окей. Серьезно? Прикольно.
The bastards are using stealth cable to ambush you. Nice try, but it won't do any good against a state-of-the-art cyborg like you, eh? To parry incoming hits, throw out your own barrage of light attacks while your foe is on the offensive.
Ага, вот так это работает, окей.
Parry at just the right moment to deflect an attack and expose your enemy to counterattack.
Вот оно как работает.
Parry at just the right moment to deflect an attack and expose your enemy to counterattack.
Had your fill?
With this body, I could take these guys with no eyes. Intel wasn't exaggerating on the cyborg count.
Well, you know how fast the tech's been spreading these last few years. That CNT muscle fiber packs the power of a jackhammer into every limb. What enterprising soldier of fortune could resist? And cyborgs are still human. Real thinking people. Way less risk of collateral damage than your typical UAV strike.
And don't forget the PR angle. Nations start playing Frankenstein with their troops, and the public goes nuts. PMCs, on the other hand, are off the ethical radar.
Да.
Yeah. They still don't
Что он ее кушку себе трогает?
With SOP out of the picture, private militaries needed a new edge on the market. We got it.
In a way, cyborgs are just SOP troops by another name. Only all muscled up and less predictable.
But it makes you wonder, where'd Desperado find these guys?
I'm not complaining. They're like walking vending machines.
Right. Vending machines full of blood. Easy there, Dracula. Like I said, they're still people.
People who terrorize and take innocent lives for money. They sowed their fate when they took this job. I'm just the Reaper.
Damn. Bit cold, Raiden. Even for you. Anyway, his school. Let's get to work. Time to increase the peace.
Right.
Если флечка застоит, чтобы кружка не снесла, внимательно дамage, чтобы не упала кружка, то он ее так чуть-чуть подвигает и все. Что ты вернул позолочник? 20 теперь доступен в VR миссиях, окей.
Ryder, you'll need to head inland. But first, make your way through this building.
Прикольно.
Ryder, this is Boris. Give me your status.
Looks clear. No one in sight.
Good. Let's recap the route you will take. As I said, the enemy's HQ is in the refinery along the coastline. Dolsaev has been spotted there using satellite photography. Also on site, Mistral, a desperado captain.
So I go through the city, cross the bridge into the old town, then head down to the rear of the refinery.
Still, I think they anticipate us. They will probably have a grand reception awaiting you at the old city. Do not let your guard down.
Peace intensifies. Очень странное здание. Типа, а где проход-то дальше? Куда-нибудь? Нигде? Так, как в Control. Kinda. Штуки. Оттуда что-то упало. Хранилище данных. Опа. То есть надо ходить и все крушить.
Hostiles in the lower corridor, I see. Try to flank them, or approach from behind.
Это что-то не в курсе. Ну, мимасов в этой игре. Бэм. Удачи, поощряет тебя к разрушению.
You can use augment mode to see where the enemy is located. Your body analyzes radar and IR data to construct your AR display. Some civilians are still in the city. That is not good.
Ух. О, подсказки есть где штуки, окей. Какая-то ассасинов. Ты чего, зверочек, как его зовут там? ГГ как-то. Так есть мемасы? Мемы, ДНК души. Гензи, да, точно. Реально стелс-экшен. Кипержопа. Ну, в общем, да, фанат.
What are you doing here? This area is off limits.
What? No.
Пум-пум.
He is scared to death, Raiden. Let him know he is safe.
Thank you. I will not forget this.
Убежал довольно резво, кстати. Без палева совсем.
You are headed out of the operation zone. Head to the waypoint marked on your solid-on radar.
Лады. Какой стресс тут нам резню? Резня. Ну, да, блин, я не понимаю, как залазение работает. И работает ли оно вообще? Ох, игра, пощады! Комбо ассасина, Данайк, что ты несешь? Казимба изобрел стелс игры, поэтому им играть стелс игры. Справедливо. Ну так просто граната лежит, по фану. Как это работает? Почему я дал залезать, но нет? Сейчас знаешь, куда можно, не надо прыжок нажимать. Так вот, нифига! Слипан, ну да, нет. А вот не будет этого вашего залазения. Ну бывает. Ну так в смысле бывает? Ты всегда залазишь. Нет, ну бывает. Значит всегда. Отстой. Ну чё он сейчас повалился? Он же должен побежать был насквозь, нет? Непонятно. Окей. У него там Аблада 2 сидит в нем. Да ё-моё! Ни хрена себе! Как я должен вот контрить? Да что я делаю-то? Блин, без медсистема. Непонятно, когда надо парирование нажимать. Короче, они такие типа, когда вот они подсвечиваются, делай контратаку. Но они могут подсветиться и сделать разные атаки после подсветки. А подсвечиваются они сразу же. И ты такой, а когда мне делать контратаку-то? Непонятно? В этом направлении, по сути, будешь больше только без парирования. Так а то я хочу парирование. Как раз литосом был желтый цвет. Желтую так нельзя парировать, и как раз для них нужно защитное нападение. И что делать-то защитным нападением Швейнберген? Вон, у меня вот есть, и чё? Да, тут я косяк. Да он же моментально делает атаку без какого-либо предупреждения! Что делать ты должен? Нажимаешь X плюс I, стик в любую сторону, блядь, сликнуть. Так это же то же самое парирование, нет? В чем отличие-то? Он же говорит, что ее невозможно парировать. Вот, по сути, нужно строить управление. Окей. Видимо, как-то это так должно работать. А, ты еще и так может работать, окей. А почему меня игра не обучила этому, к слову? Почему я от вас-то узнаю, что надо делать? Да, блин. Отличие защиты нападения в том, что там есть сказы неуязвимости очень много. Мембер пик эскалатор СДС. Говорят такие символы. Какие такие символы, Хонкер? Надо будет мод юзать. А желтый говорят, надо будет мод юзать. Что-то как-то не заюзалось. Я получил уронец. Говёночу. Джаз, привет.
Very good, Ryder.
Нет, не very.
Heading for refinery.
У меня есть дополнительное оружие? А, я понял. Ага. Окей. Когда замедление времени иероглифы. А почему игра меня этого не обучила? А еще может Кьюкнат использовать поставить там, где восстановление. И как это сделать? Уже выставил. Так, окей, хорошо. Не по то, что когда спал на экране иероглиф или когда замедляется время, нужно взять режим клинка для добивания. Классно, еще раз. Почему меня игра тут не обучил? Я обучение зачем проходил? Чтобы меня этому не обучили? Зашибись, обучение. Класс, очень полезно. Как это работает, типа? Почему я этот вас узнаю, а нет игры? Ну ты японцы. Офигенно. Окей, понял, МБ пик. Гранатомет. Пека. А, понятно, слипну. Что такое в Вермисе, к слову, тоже вы мне объяснили, а не игра. Ага, так и думал. Слипан, почему вы мне это объясняете еще раз? Почему вы не игра? Ученик далеко не все объясняется. Отстой? Ага. А, да, надо было зажимать. Окей. Пам-пам. Да, в смысле? Как? Я не понимаю. Что я делать-то должен? Он вообще ничего не предупреждал. Вы говорите, X плюс А. Чё это? Потому что Казима гей, я знаю, поэтому только не вас геймплей никто никогда не хвалил. Интуитивно понятное управление. Пипец вообще, я вообще не понимаю. Я не понимаю, как это работает. Вообще никаких намеков в голове. Сейчас врага горит сидим, значит, ты можешь забить в режим клинка. Круто! А когда вырубать в режим клинка? Просто подойти поближе, забить, выбить режим клинка? Или надо дожать какой-то анимации? Или после какой-то атаки? Или какой-нибудь символ где-нибудь воскресит? Или еще что-нибудь? И почему, какого хрена мне это рассказываете вы, не игра? Ключевой момент! Это ж, блин, типа основа, нет? Почему я это устаю от вас? Игра, твою мать! Как вы подразумевали, что люди будут в это играть? Такие, случайные вещи пробовать? Игра 13 года и простительная. Нет! Нет, нифига не простительная. Уже были игры до этого с куда более удобоваримым интерфейсом, обучением и так далее. Можно просто выбить режим клинка, чтобы ты, конечно, кто светится синим. Хорошо, хорошо. Фига. Прикольно.
They have erected an electromagnetic barricade. Maybe expecting UG or cyborg attack, да?
Да. А зачем там вообще пароль?
We're picking up a wireless transmission near your position. From the frequency, most likely an enemy data terminal. Check it out. We may be able to salvage some intel.
Ура, синий цвет. Новая миссия. Гайд битвы. Чего? Где гайд битвы? Новая миссия, правильно? Сочи.
Da. Safe and sound. No repairs necessary. Some routine maintenance and she will be as good as new.
Good to hear. I'm guessing that thing doesn't come cheap.
Well, an old Soviet army friend gave me discount. He runs a PMC specializing in airborne warfare.
An Air Force for hire? That's a new one.
Ever since SOP, Mercs started to fill more and more regular combat duties. SOP ended, but the trend did not. Most every modern military relies on PMC support in one way or another.
Good news for Maverick, I suppose. Anyway, that's quite the little jet your friend has. I was expecting a lot of turbulence coming in that low, but she was smooth as silk. Didn't feel like I was a bird exactly, but probably the next best thing.
The MQ-133C uses a brand new type of active adjustment control system. Sensors on the plane take readings 120 times a second, and to be honest, I don't know how it works. But the crew chief tells me this is what keeps her flying so steady. It is all state-of-the-art technology. There are only 3 of them in the entire world. Even the RQ-133 spy plane she is based on is only 2 years old. It is fitted specially for Cyborg, so maybe demand is a bit low now, but I think that will change soon, eh?
It's funny. Its guts are all bleeding edge, but from the outside, it looks almost retro.
Да, я бы не сказал.
Recently, stealth aircraft design was focused on radar-absorbing materials and improving aerodynamics. But lately, engineers are trying to use the shape of the craft to do more than improve gas mileage. Maneuverability is a low priority. This kind of plane is not meant for dogfighting, after all.
And we can afford all this? I hate to ask, but will we clear a profit on this op?
You need not worry about such things. But yes, we should be fine. Where the proper equipment can make or break a mission, we should have the best. That miss with the anti-air missile last month was a painful reminder of this lesson.
Ah, yeah. I see what you mean.
Да, могли пострелять с пулемета.
I didn't think flares could still fool anti-air missiles like that.
They, can't. At least not with any modern missile. Recent missiles rely on a dual wavelength, or IIR system, for guidance. Flares wouldn't fool either of them. But that was no recent missile I had. That Cusack Derma couldn't even take down a fat tilt-rotor target. And at close range. Черт возьми.
Черт возьми.
We had no intel. No reason to think that we'd be facing anything like that. You budgeted for the tools appropriate to the job. No one blames you.
Perhaps. In any case, now we know what we are dealing with. This is still a business, but this time I am stretching the budget as much as possible. Expenses like that aircraft and your new body are all part of this.
Both were worth the money. This body's more capable than I could have imagined.
I'm glad you feel this way, since it is still company property. Remember, if you quit on us, you either return it or you buy it.
Yeah, Boris. I remember the first 5 times you told me.
Логично.
Hey, Boris. About the Soliton radar. I noticed that it doesn't get jammed
Взял
anymore,
другой
even
голос.
if I get spotted by the enemy. Back in the old days, it'd be useless the second an alarm was triggered.
Well, once the Patriots fell, classified technology spread all over the world. This new Soliton radar is one example. By applying a non-linear Schrödinger equation to the Soliton solution,
Пошли
they're
термины.
able to prevent the jamming that plagued the original models based off the KDV equation.
I'm impressed. You know your stuff, Mr. President.
Of course, I'm a businessman. You think I could run a profitable PMSC without being up to date on the latest tech?
But I wonder, how exactly is the equation different? I mean, I'm no expert on how the KDV equation was implemented in the first place, but I'd love to know how the Schrodinger equation fits into all this.
Raiden, on battlefield, most important thing is how to use equipment, not theory behind it. The mission is #1 priority. So do not worry your head about equations and such things. Just concentrate on using the equipment to your advantage, da?
In other words, you have absolutely no idea, do you?
The mission, Raiden. Focus on the mission.
Ну, в общем, верно замечено.
Raiden, what I said about staying focused on the mission.
Understood. No need to explain.
I say this because I have been there. I have let my emotions take over on the battlefield. Some of the PMC work I did after my discharge was... They were gray area jobs. But that's all in the past. When I took on those former PLA soldiers to form Maverick, I laid out my conditions. We would only take operations we believed in. And we would run them clean. No exceptions. Most of them agreed. They had their own bad memories from their time in Paradise Lost.
Видимо, какие-то предыдущие части.
Attest to that.
Yes, of course. I forget who I'm talking with. Most of the XPLA have moved on now in any case. But the point remains the same. Everyone at Maverick is accountable for their actions. We are clear to take this job under international law. And we can use force against any cyborg hostiles under the basic rules of engagement. But remember, if we harm any civilians, on purpose or no, it will mean trouble. All kinds of trouble. So, stay in control.
Кстати, интересно, что было бы, если бы я чувака убил.
Got it.
Гражданского.
Raiden, if you ever get lost, use augment mode to check. By using augment mode, you can see and useful for when you cannot. Raiden, by using.
Ну да, подсказкой. Хорош с ним болтать.
Sorry, man, but I have to ask. Where did Mr. Lightning Bolt come from anyway?
Ugh, seriously? All right. Well, I told you where I got Raiden from, right? World War II, the Japanese had a plane called Raiden. The Allies named it Jack.
Yeah, I remember.
And my real name's Jack. So yeah, they codenamed me Raiden.
They being the Patriots.
Mm-hmm. Never really suited me. But it's better than... Jack just reminds me too much of the past.
I hear you.
Someone once told me, you can find your own name, and your own future. After that, I dropped Jack for good.
Right. And this lightning bolt business?
Well, the Rai part of Raiden means thunder, and Den is electric. So Raiden is basically lightning bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was explaining that to Inmani, and he just busted out laughing.
So he called you that as a joke? He was basically just giving you shit.
Yeah.
Не называть, а
He
называл.
actually had a pretty good sense of humor. He was one of the most charismatic men I'd ever met. I don't know much about politics, but being around him, you could just tell he was a natural leader.
Such a goddamn shame.
Mm-hmm. I won't let it happen again. Desperado ends here. Comic book villains and all.
Yeah. We're counting on you, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
Зря я рассказал эту историю. Так, секунду. Есть одно неотложное дело. Киси купил новую когтеточку. Сейчас наркоманит.
So Raiden, who was this that told you to find your own name before you stopped going by Jack?
The one and only Solid Snake. Hero of Outer Heaven, Zanzibar Land, Shadow Moses. The list goes on.
Right. Guy's a legend. I forgot you knew him so well.
Yeah, he saved my ass at Big Shell.
Big
Not to
Shell.
mention a few times after that. I've lost count. In terms of pure combat ability, he's one of the greatest soldiers I've ever seen. But it's not only that. He knows what's right, and he just gets it done. Period. No one can stop him. I've learned a lot from him. He'd kill me if he heard me talking about him like this.
Wow. I didn't know you were such a fanboy. I thought you were gonna start crying there for a sec.
Very funny, Kev.
Seriously though, did Snake know he had a stalker?
Сталкер.
Hey, relax. I'm only ribbing you. I just wish I got to meet the guy, you know?
I know.
You're no fun.
Перевод неправильный. Не поговорить по-мужски. I just want to meet the guy. Я хотел бы сам с ним лично встретиться.
Sounds like Imani was a pretty great leader. Such a goddamn waste.
Да, это
I've
я...
run cover for a lot of
А, окей, это не знал лица.
But men like him are a rare breed. He had all these conflicting factors to deal with.
Про
Old
Снейка знал.
tribal tensions, business interests, the military. But Imani got them all working together in a stable government, and all without firing a shot.
The savior of a nation. No wonder they called him that.
He had a gift for sure. But he also put in the hard work. He was big on equality and justice in every aspect of government. He fought for it day in, day out. Imani single-handedly energized his people. He's a big part of why the country recovered so quickly.
True. It was more than new buildings and jobs. The people had hope again.
If only we had someone like him back in Liberia. Things would have been different, that's for sure. And it was my job to protect him.
Raiden, come on.
Imani wouldn't want me to go after Desperado. Not out of revenge, anyway. But he would want them stopped. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Raiden, that saying you like about your sword being a tool of justice?
Он такое это помнит.
It's why I fight. Sometimes taking a life saves others.
A life, or 2, or 3, or 40 in your case, but I know what you mean. Besides, it's not like those cyborgs you're fighting have been brain-jacked.
Wouldn't be much point in sending jacked cyborgs.
True. Having someone pilot a body remotely only really makes financial sense for espionage missions. And you might as well use UGs if you're gonna let an AI control your soldiers. So yeah, they're probably using emotional restraints, but those cyborgs are fighting of their own free will.
Starting to see where I'm coming from?
I get it, it's just... you didn't used to seem so comfortable with the idea. What about what Sam said? About your ideals holding you back?
Ah, bullshit. He's good, but now I know how he moves, how he thinks, and I've got my new body. My philosophy says when and why to fight, not how. It won't keep me from beating Sam. And next time we meet, I will beat him. I'll kill him, and I'll do it to save others from suffering, with my ideals intact.
All right, right.
Жестко. Серьезно настроен.
One thing I can't stop wondering about, Kev.
What's up?
Sam. If he wanted to kill me back on the train, he could have, easily. So, why didn't he?
Good question. But I should be asking you. Your left eye was our only video feed. After he stabbed it, I got nothing. I mean, I got the details from your report after the fact, but that's it.
Они еще из его глаза получили данные.
Forces attacks, escaping, there was a lot going on.
No, that's not it.
Well, why else? What does he have to gain from letting you live?
I don't know.
Хочет достойного противника.
Raiden, head for the oil refinery.
Да, сохранимся заодно, кстати.
Roger that. Save complete.
You saved me again, Courtney.
Right.
Буквально.
Anything else?
Saved.
Otherwise, I should get back.
Actually, yeah. You mentioned SOP earlier. How much do you know about it?
The Sons of the Patriot system? Same stuff as anyone else in the industry, probably. Basically, a nanomachine software combo for controlling contractors. Used to be required for all PMCs. Soldiers couldn't fire unless their ID matched their weapon and they had clearance. From their commanding officers. And the rules of engagement, I mean. It had some mental effects as well. Moderating pain, enhancing concentration, that sort of thing. The idea was SOP would minimize arms smuggling and civilian casualties.
A kinder, gentler war. An oxymoron, any way you look at it. Civilian deaths did drop, though.
Because soldiers in the system could coordinate in real time, share info. Between that and the ID weapon locks, a lot of people felt better about employing privatized military. The irony is, the system was developed based on criticisms of PMC ops, mostly American interventions. SOP propaganda said it would put limits on the war market. What it really did was shift market share over to the PMCs. Civilian deaths went down, but total casualties just kept on climbing.
More than ever, war was big business.
And business was booming. Until SOP got hacked. Suddenly, everyone realized how dangerous it was to have a single system controlling entire PMCs. That was the beginning of the end for SOP. Public opinion on privatizing war did a 180. After that, a lot of local conflicts and civil wars died down. The PMC conglomerates had to split up and downsize just to stay in business. And that about does it for SOP 101. Class dismissed.
Not bad, Professor. But it's not the whole story.
No, I know.
Let's finish this later. I better keep moving.
Мне нравится лор, прикольно. Они довольно глубоко подошли к созданию мира, где всем правят, не правят, где все дела проворачивают ЧВК. Вот что армии уже почти не существует, я так понимаю. А в основном все на ЧВКшников полагаются, потому что у тех там есть какие-то свои там кодексы, их дешевле купить, чем свою армию содержать. Они профессиональные бойцы и так далее. Ну так это по мотивам МГС написано, это психо. Это что? Если игра спин-офф все является с ней по хронологии, отсутствие проработки бы удивляло. Я если сейчас говорю, если еще говорю не про эту конкретную игру, а про вселенную МГС вообще. Потому что я так понимаю, что это во всей вселенной такая концепция, а не только в этой игре. Поэтому я не совсем понимаю, почему вы именно про эту игру говорите. Ну, то есть я не играл в МГС почти что, но я немножко просто в курсе, что там вся эта тема с ЧВК довольно хорошо развита. МГС в целом, ну не МГС, а МГ, Metal Gear.
Need something else?
I thought we'd get back to our little history lesson. What do you know about the Patriots?
I know that they were behind everything we talked about before with the SOP system. People thought these 12 guys controlled world politics and the global economy from the shadows.
And they were right. Except there weren't 12. And they weren't guys. Or even human.
Опа.
They were massive AI networks.
All the better to gather information on a global scale. Or censor it if they wanted. They'd manipulate factions to keep wars raging, all while selling arms to both sides. The PMCs made billions too, of course. SOP was the Patriots' masterstroke. They could control battles directly, down to each individual soldier. The system might even still be around if the AIs hadn't all been destroyed.
I'm impressed. You know your stuff. Not many people have even heard of the Patriots. More than when they were active. But still, not many. Almost no one knows they were AIs, or that they're the real reason SOP went away.
Well, the few that do know aren't going to talk about it publicly. Even the world leaders.
Especially the world leaders. The people would panic, assuming anyone believed them, which they wouldn't. You can find speculation on the net if you look hard enough. Some of them get pretty close to the truth, but the stories never made it into the mainstream. Just another conspiracy.
Ну да, звучит крипово.
I'm not surprised. It's a little hard to believe, you know? It just sounds crazy. When Kevin briefed me about all this in orientation, I thought it was some kind of BS detecting test.
МГС писал «Безумный бурят», его сюжет знает только 3,5 полуроведа. Сюжет все равно что читать краткий пересказ. Ну, естественно, мы чисто кодекс сейчас, по сути, читаем.
All right, then. Hey, Raiden, let me ask you something. The Patriots. Why would AIs do all of that? I can see why people would want all the money, but AIs? What did they stand to gain from it all?
Who knows? Maybe they didn't even know. Optical Neuro AIs aren't your typical PCs. They learn over time, change in unpredictable ways. The core AI, JD, was bent on expanding the war economy. Maybe to fund the Patriots' other activities. Or maybe that's just the way it evolved.
JD?
Like a secondary objective that took over. One of the other AIs said it was created to filter out unnecessary information, gossip, trivia, all for the sake of future generations, to drive the evolution of the human race. Or so it said. Was that the truth? Or a lie? To manipulate me? Who can say?
To think. Something like that. Running a nation. And America, no less. It's terrifying. Thank God they were all destroyed.
But did it really change that much?
Maybe not. Contractors still gotta eat after all. Soldiering for hire's always been a risky business. But at least before it was good money. There was a decent chance you could get rich and retire early. All that disappeared during the SOP years. Demand was high, but the workforce was flooded. More and more soldiers were willing to work for cheap. It got so you'd have to work years before you could even pay back your initial training and insurance fees.
Yeah, I can see Sundowner's point.
The global recession certainly didn't help. Unemployment shot up across the US and the EU. Even if contractors gave up and packed it in, there weren't any jobs waiting for them back home.
The irony is the recovery was all war-driven. It wasn't a general recovery at all. Not only did globalization exploit the poor countries, but it crippled first world employment too.
And SOP's gone. But now we've got these PMCs that are basically mobsters. Just thugs in uniform.
Yeah, not a pretty picture.
А мы не ЧВК?
What's up? No? Did you need anything else?
No, guess not. Just wanted to...
Oh.
А мы вообще кто? Возникает вопрос.
Doc, my fuel cells are running low. What happens if I completely tap them out?
You will lose the ability to perform any action which requires a great amount of energy. But even when your gauge reaches zero, you retain basic movement. You can walk around and swing your sword. Use this time to absorb more electrolytes from your enemies. Recharge your cells as soon as possible.
Roger that. Doctor, you have anything more on these cyborgs?
Only what we went over in your briefing, if you had been paying attention. Standard military-grade cyborgs. MCFC integrated carbon nanotube muscle fibers. Impressive response time and power yield when focused correctly. Most will likely possess extrasensory skills as well. Infrared vision is almost standard these days. They can function without breathing for short periods of time.
Okay. Nothing I didn't already know.
Not all cyborgs you face will be the same, of course. You may notice a range of different capabilities. It all depends on the manufacturer. Muscle fiber and neurotransmission technology is advancing all the time. Of course, you have the very latest science has to offer. A typical cyborg is no match for your equipment.
If you do say so yourself.
No, I realize combat is about more than the equipment. Situational awareness, predictive ability, nerves. One must determine a course of attack or defense and execute on a moment's notice. Reaction time is key. Cyborg enhancements do not change that.
Agreed.
Часто агентство ранее сказала, что это совсем другое. А в чем разница?
Hey Doc, I'm curious. Can I recharge off any cyborg? Even a non-military unit? Not that I ever would, of course.
A pedestrian cyborg? I very much doubt you will encounter any of those on this op. Besides...
Against the rules of engagement, I know. Like I said, just curious.
In theory, then. No, I would doubt very much that you could. Even from those that opted for complete body replacements due to injury or illness, you know. Though I have heard of some very wealthy clients who wanted to fight the effects of aging.
Doctor?
Ah, yes, your question. No, extracting MCFCs from pedestrian cyborgs is unlikely. Most non-military enhancements use polymer muscle fiber that is a generation behind yours. Carbon nanotube would be a bit much for anyone who wished to lead a normal life, you know.
Типа им не нужно
And
столько
all the
энергии.
systems can be powered by rechargeable electric batteries. Organic muscle fiber, which allows extraction of nutrients from the bloodstream, does exist, but it requires artificial blood for sufficient power output. This so-called white blood requires regular dialysis and was mostly phased out once cyborg technology became mainstream. True, some use cultivated muscle tissue to take nourishment from the body's natural bloodstream. But such systems are more regenerative medicine than cyborg technology. I'm sure you'll agree. Of course, natural musculature or no, if the body is equipped with a ceramic bone structure...
Can't get energy from non-military cyborgs. Got it.
Well, one moment. I have more...
Thanks, Doc.
Ну чё ты? Вот именно ни в чем. Окей.
So, as I was saying, there are many differences between pedestrian and military cyborgs.
You're still on about this.
Now, first and foremost, military cyborgs are generally full body conversions.
You mean as opposed to partials?
Yes, as opposed to just grafting on an arm or leg where a myoelectric prosthesis would suffice. As I have said, for the general public, these full body replacements are quite rare. Quite rare. Only in cases of extreme injury or illness, generally. Perhaps a few eccentrics who wish to live longer. In any case, most pedestrian cyborgs are no more than an artificial limb or two. We call these partials.
Doctor, I know. I just said that.
Partials enhancements are not designed to meet the rigors of military use. A pair of synthetic arms attached to an organic body cannot match the power of those on a full cyborg. Total body conversions also armor the entire soldier against stray ordnance and minor injury. This is why wounded contractors most often opt for the works rather than simply replacing the lost limb.
I hear it's why most of Maverick cyborgs had it done, anyway.
Of course, there is the rather dramatic change in appearance to consider. Civilian life as a cyborg can be, well, complicated, as I'm sure you can attest. But for the field, man and metal, capability beyond the natural human body, it has a functional beauty.
Beauty or beast?
Both lie in the eye of the beholder, which brings us to the senses. Machine implants can also restore lost vision and hearing, and with added sensitivity, as you know. Such options have become standard in most military conversion packages, along with pain suppression and dampening less useful emotions, similar to how SOP operated.
Yeah, no matter how hard I'm hit, it doesn't really hurt.
Of course, everything has its limits. Do not let your high threshold for pain make you reckless.
Understood.
Блин, интересно. Прикольно.
Doctor, about my pain threshold. It doesn't hurt exactly, but I can still feel it. It's not painful, but it's still pain. It's hard to explain.
Well,
Система защиты организма.
It would be dangerous for you to be entirely unaware of your body taking damage. Instead, your nerves are controlled such that pain is no longer so unpleasant.
How do you mean?
Take epinephrine, for example, or adrenaline, as you might know it. This hormone makes it harder to feel pain, yes? Your implants work using a similar method. Yet, for all we now understand of the nature of pain, much of it remains a mystery.
How so?
Well, why do we feel pain? Evolutionarily speaking, of course, to signal external injury or internal sickness. If the body is threatened, pain notifies the brain so it can take steps to ensure survival. In other words, pain has a clear and logical purpose. But in certain cases, pain can drive more unconstructive behavior. In situations where fight and flight are both still options, one might simply break down crying or drop to the ground and begin writhing about. This would appear only to diminish one's chance of survival, not increase it, yes?
Maybe there's some other factor at play.
Well, the most common theory would link pain with the societal nature of humanity. If no friends are close by, then experiencing pain might indeed reduce your likelihood of survival. But if allies are near, these expressions of pain serve as a plea for help. Thus, you are more likely to live. Fear of pain might
Прикольно.
also discourage one from entering a dangerous situation in the first place. Whatever the reasons, the data clearly shows that survival rates rise directly with sensitivity to pain. The converse is also proven. Those less able to feel or express pain have a lesser chance of survival. So, mankind has evolved as a social animal, and in the process, pain has become more pronounced, more visceral.
A little pain never hurt anyone, huh? But if pain is there to ensure survival, well, what's that say about the future for us cyborgs?
As a transhumanist, I do not believe all evolution must follow the exact method Darwin posited. Cyborg technology is still survival of the fittest, after all. Just in a new form. You should be proud of what your body has become. It is the culmination of great achievements in science.
Me? I had nothing to do with it. The credit's all yours.
Well, yes. I should be proud as well.
Doctor, about my fuel cells, the electrolytes. Do all military cyborgs use the same type? I'm not gonna run across anyone, you know, incompatible with me, am I?
An excellent question. Your fuel cells, like any other, operate much in the same way as a typical battery. They do not need replacing after a single use, of course, and they do not require recharging. They do, however, require a fuel source.
That much I know already.
Yes, well, there are several different types of fuel cells. Phosphoric acid, MCFC, molten carbonate like yours, solid oxide, and so forth. Each type can be further divided into classes, each which runs on its own electrolyte
само топливо
material.
берем.
However, all current military cyborg MCFCs run on the same one electrolyte.
That's good news.
Why all the same electrolyte, you ask? The answer lies in the catalysts that help make up your carbon nanotube musculature. It was breakthroughs in researching these catalysts and CNT manufacturing that enabled large-scale production.
Breakthroughs that happened after all the data the Patriots were covering up finally leaked.
It could not have happened without your help, Raiden. Science owes you a great debt. And I do as well. Working on your body has been quite educational. You must continue along, Raiden.
Психоэнсильери, здравствуйте. Чё, может, в Эрмисию бахнем какую-нибудь? Ух. Первое, поехали. Погодите, мы ее делали. Правильно?
Well, let's begin with a quick...
Да. Первая точка обучалки. Вот, третью мы не проходили.
Your body comes equipped with a technique we call blade mode. Let's begin by assuming the fighting position. Good. Now use blade mode to strike all of the targets.
Ой, ой.
Now remember, blade mode exacts a heavy toll on your fuel cells. Replenish your energy by attacking enemies. Your blade will absorb their electrolytes automatically. Try restoring your fuel cells back to maximum now. Standard cyborgs you can dismember immediately, no problem. Other foes will not fall so easily. You will first need to attack and damage them to some degree.
Попался.
And now, the Zandatsu technique. or the stab and grab as some call it. Activate blade mode with full fuel cells and you will automatically analyze the ideal cutting position. Execute it successfully and you will seize your foe's self-repair unit and restore some of your vitality. Now, try it for yourself. Take the enemy's repair unit before he falls.
I got him.
Понял.
Next, let's review special attacks. Approach a target from the rear or above without being noticed, and you can eliminate them with a single strike. I call it the ninja kill.
Ninja kill.
Target located.
Ну, я это уже проходил. Бэшку надо нажимать просто.
Finally, a word about your enhanced AR. Enhanced AR adds several layers of information to your augmented reality vision. Use it for additional intel on your enemies or to see new aspects of your
Прикольная
surroundings.
анимация.
Just remember, enhanced AR is automatically disabled as soon as you attack.
Че, кубик никак не сломать? Оу! Жестко. Напоминают клинки из атаки титанов. Поехали. Блин, это я зря. Ничего я должен был делать. Этого нас еще пока не обучили. Блокирую его атаки. Когда он бежит на меня? Как? Чё, серьезно? Вот это рано просто блокировать? Типа в его сторону наводиться и слабую атаку? Вот мне говорит, что это не все эти самые атаки можно заблокировать. На, за 40 секунд всех видеть. Ё-моё, это ж невозможно. Анимация долгая. А, вот она, да? Нифига себе, окей, хорошо. Как ярко желтым загорается, понял. Так, ну гораздо лучше уже. Но до 40 секунд, конечно, еще далеко. Еще разок ХВРки лучше понять уже после кампании основной. Типа там мы покачаемся, все дела. Не, скорее просто посмотреть, что кого. Ты умирать не собираешься, нет? Да, вот я уже не успеваю. Да, блин, опять прослакал. Помните, погодите, она. Да, блин, я отпустил. А, хотя это все равно его убило. Лоу. Лучше освоить, что никаких гайдов в миссиях нет. Я за самую сказал, миссия пока все равно. Кстати, ты можешь включить режим клинка в подкате, то есть бег плюс тяжелая атака, и включаешь режим клинка. А зачем? Так, да, продолжаем режим истории. Для спидания, да? Эффективных разубить.
Greetings, cyborg.
Show yourself.
Ядрен. Отпиливает кусок здания. Где ты таких видел?
I am IF prototype LQ84I.
IF prototype.
Interface prototype. All autonomous UGs feature high-level onboard.
А зачем ты со мной разговариваешь?
Additional prototype interface enables verbal. I possess an intellect far beyond human reckoning.
You don't say. Okay then. What's the meaning of life? Why are we here?
Неплохо.
I am here to kill you.
Поймал один клинок.
That's it? Pretty simple thinking for such a mighty intellect.
I may analyze orders, but I may not disobey them. Should I disobey a direct order, my memory would be wiped. I must destroy you.
What good is an intellect if you can't use it?
Your taunting is pointless. Exterminate! Multiple strikes. Combination complete.
Да, блин.
You will die. A savvy warrior uses all of his tools. Backup required.
О, привет. Он их вызывает, конечно, подкрепление.
Call this violence civilized. are merely human in the end.
Так, а как юзать-то доп. Оружие, к слову?
I will obliterate your consciousness.
Так, и чё там нажимать надо?
Does it hurt?
Да, блин, игра, дай мне секундочку, что-нибудь сделать, пожалуйста! Я не понимаю даже такую клавишу в бассейне, сраные гранаты.
Combination attack. Continue alone. Be foolish. Help me.
Я хилка вызову. Ты помогла, в смысле? Да, это я понял. Что я должен был сделать с этим?
I feel no pain. Cannot continue. Directive: liberate nation. Ensure freedom.
Заблокировать.
Must obey.
Пытался.
No freedom. Freedom undefiled.
Я думаю, что позвонить?
What would an AI know about freedom?
Я сейчас идти, который постоянно по такие кнопки жать. Ну или, по крайней мере, если вы даете мне, блин, битву с чуваком, обучите меня тем, как что не делать с желтыми атаками. Опять же, игра нифига не обучает. Она потом нам даст обучающую миссию. Что такое желтые атаки? Какого хрена вы обучаете? Как противодействовать чему-либо после этого чего-либо? Это самая тупая система в мире. Это не единственная игра, которая так делает, но черт подери, это невероятно тупо. Появился участок по доп. Оружию. Круто, вовремя, когда у нас уже этого оружия-то есть, да. Я уже сам по сессии битвы уже примерно понял, что-то надо делать. Моя любимая. Казимба всегда сейчас не ортодоксальным подходом. ППЦ вообще. Угу. Не то, да? Ну. Да, Нажал же. Погоди. Да, так, все понятно. Алло. Ага. Классическая погоня, серьезно? Ну вот. Нормальный рывок. Надо что я такое только посматривал Казимба, а то могло быть еще хуже. Он только посматривал. Не ответственен полностью за нее. Казимба. Нет, не то! Да это какого твою мать, я чё, зачем это сменил-то? Ага! Просто так, да, я понял, окей. Да. И чё, попал? Ну, видимо, попал. Да фак. Я не то нажимаю, да, вниз нажимаю, влево. Фак. Чё? Да, я не успеваю, слишком плохо для этого. Иди подальше от вертолета, Госликман. Для чего? Разъеби лайк, ну так аниме достаточно, делайте. Короче, стилистически мне игра супер нравится, геймплейно я прям страдаю невероятно от того, как она сделана. Управление, тут управление вообще ад какой-то. Убьюсь от Quick Time Event. Так он вроде убьюсь только тогда, когда его задамажу там в третий раз. Джейсон Над Hello, Bless You, Пук, Ашбек. Кек, Шербет, Котлет. Кстати, есть еще более наркоманская Рубилова. Killer is Dead. Не, это не играл. Без понятия. Это птица. Он на ней сидит? Лоу. Да, опасно было. Иди-ка он уже с ней говорит, даже у вас как там event. Понял. 16 looks great and polished. Looks really great. But the controls are terrible. У меня в ходе штука была какая-то, не? Мне показалось. Там точно что-то есть. Как-то залезть, вот в чем вопрос. Yeah, pick, funny fights. Fights like fights. Ну, как вариант, конечно, по тому зданию полететь, поехать потом обратно, но... А, погоди. Вот он ответ. Просто на Ордай... Так, тут было не видно эту штуку. Там по-любому что-нибудь есть. Да ладно. Scan Tarkov though, love how immersed you in that game. Looking out at the window Tarkov and the screen Tarkov must be such a great gaming. What do you mean, like, looking out of the window Tarkov? It's like just general normal day-to-day Russia. Yeah, sure. We are fighting each other on the street. Oh, such a refreshing joke. Never heard something like that.
So that's where they're holed up.
Some kind of electronic lock on the gate.
Most likely it opens only if you have the right ID data stored in your left hand. Perhaps you could find a cyborg with access and borrow it?
You see any cyborgs around here, Doc?
Why not double back? Check the vehicle route again. You know, back at the entrance to the old city. Who knows? Maybe you can hitch a ride.
Да, походу,
Most
да.
likely platoon commanders carry correct ID data for the gate. Use enhanced mode to figure out who to hit.
Hurry and get that hand right.
No, not fire, of course, but types of buildings from the Soviet Union, lots of cars, complete sense. Let's see. Макушку оторвал. Оторвал.
That's my boy.
Что-то выходишь английский, ты инагент? Гномик Gmail, здравствуйте.
Right. You missed them all? Well, you just have to fight your way through.
В смысле, упустил всех? Не понял. Я сатанист. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, currency in game is rubles. Darkov, yes. One of the currencies there. Rubles, dollars, and euro. Boom. Agency of Scat. Roskomnadzor, I suppose. Я не могу. Режим клинка. Все потратил. Ну и чё, как вы посмотрели защиту от этого? А что если я все потратил, действительно? Это был. Так, а я попробовал, мне не далось. Скриптовано, да? Чё-то 50 раз надо кто ударить. Один и тот же удар, и он в итоге сработал. Видео с Росkomnadzor, yeah. Ну, по идее, просто вертикально отрезать. Ну, я вертикально тоже удар сделал, и ничего не произошло. Зря, может, я такой сильный удар сделал на ходу. Досочка ничего не подпирает? А зачем она здесь? Выглядит так, будто на лестницу вас подпирает. Как раз. 3D фоторамка. Ладно.
To get to the plant, first make your way to the hotel roof.
Граната. Grenade!
Dosaev. That woman.
Ее сканировать он не хочет, да? Значит, на нас посмотрит.
Raiden, what's happening? Your heart rate spiked.
I just dodged a bullet. All right, I'm heading for the refinery.
Это шикарно. Типа, да, не до тебя сейчас, чувак. Так. Мы, господа, мы сейчас заканчиваем. What they say in Skype yesterday that in Krasnodar region where it's 26 degrees, it's hotter than Miami where I was recently low. Well, yes, it's getting warmer. Oh, that's the dude from Chechnya who's scary TikTok forces. I get it. I get it. Так.
Raiden, the Mistral
Ой,
woman.
не тот
Is
чувак.
she truly a full-body cyborg?
That's what the intel says, at least.
А, это Мистралию.
Something?
Понятно.
Indeed. Two somethings, in fact. Based on their movements, her chest region did not appear to be artificial.
You can tell that just from what I saw?
Indeed. After some detailed image analysis, I am
Детальный анализ
certain
изображения.
that is her own natural torso. If it is indeed a cyborg Jesse, it is the most advanced I've ever seen. Such technology would not come cheap. It would mean whoever is backing Desperado is likely quite wealthy.
Probably so. As far as Mistral goes, it really doesn't matter to me. Natural, synthetic, man, woman, an enemy is an enemy.
Ah, are you not even the least curious?
Right. You need to save?
Это смешно.
Did you catch all that with Dosaev and Mistral?
Yeah, I was monitoring the whole time. Dolzayev's not really what I expected. I've seen his file, plenty of photos, but I guess I expected someone more, I don't know, threatening?
Didn't seem too friendly to me.
No, I mean, you hear terrorist, you think of some cold, calculating professional. Dolzaev looks more like some guy off the street.
Cold calculating professional types don't usually bother with terrorism. It's too risky.
Логично.
Most terrorists are ordinary people, radicalized one way or another.
Yeah, I guess so.
Of course, that doesn't make what they do any easier to forgive. What about Miss Trawl? What'd you think?
Well, she's certainly attractive. Probably an artificial face, though. I'm guessing most of her is artificial.
Roger that.
Lol. Sorry, afraid you berate me. That was close to probably the stuff I'm zipping now. Original voiceover, respects cat, no problem. That's just because the torrent was with this voice and nothing else. He's got such beautiful eyes. Yeah. Так. А выйти-то как? Там обязательно надо зайти, чтобы выйти? Да. Ладно. Команда японцы все с этой штукой типа нажмите кнопку, чтобы. Блин, ну японцы, ну японцы, ну японцы, ну вот, ну японцы. Так. Слэшер. Сложность нормальная. Первая часть. Да, в общем, значит, у нас должен быть сейчас Control. Но я, честно говоря, мне нужно, не знаю, прилечь, поспать. Я что-то подустал. И дело не в Metal Gear. В общем, я пойду попробую поспать. Как проснусь, будет Control. Но Гамбо у нас точно будет. Он без вопросов. Как проснусь. Вот. Спасибо, что смотрели. С вами был Скэт, приходите еще. В общем, что могу сказать про Metal Gear? Да. Видите, там получается. Графически вообще просто кайф. Ролики смотреть просто кайф. По лору просто кайф. Они так разжевывают какие-то вещи, которые причем некоторые с иронией стебут сами себя. Типа, почему у нас так? Ну, типа вот. И это выглядит даже логично, как они сами себя стебут. В общем, за сценарий просто невероятный респект. Геймплейно, да, пока я не втесался. Напоминает Tales of Arise, где-то только там уже под конец игры я примерно понял, как вообще что делать. И то не до конца, к слову. Пекусы. Че мы тут ходим, бродим? Вот. Ну, выглядит, конечно, супер круто. В своем году, наверное, это был какой-то невероятный фурор. Пекусы, да, пекусы. Как-то так. На этом мы сейчас заканчиваем. Сегодня у нас Control, Amazing World of Gumball и Genshin Impact. До встречи, господа. Спасибо, Слипман, за заказик. Вот там вроде Алинсар еще подумывает там что-то там подзаказывать. Хо-хо-хо. Ну, вот вопрос к Алинсару. Пара-па-па-пи-пу-пам, пи-па-пу-пи-да-пу-пи-пам, па-пу-пи-пам.